Welcome back, everybody. As you probably guessed from the title of the video and the thumbnail, we are going over the lights that are going to be available for Olight's July sale. So we have a few of them out here. We don't have all of them, but the ones we don't have, we've already covered in previous months. So check those out. If you guys haven't seen it and you're looking for information on it, we're going to go over the ones that I think you guys probably are most interested in. Just before we get into that, there will be a link down below in the video description for the sale. Everything that you guys see here, it is an affiliate link, so it does support the channel if you use it. And there's some free gifts as well that we'll talk about here in just a second. And those are depending on when you actually see the video, whether or not they're still in stock. And additionally, there will be a mental health resource, a link for that down below in the video comments for anyone who gets upset that someone posts a video about flashlights on the internet. I realize it's a real thing, so I'm trying to help you guys out. So with that, let's get into the lights themselves. First one up is going to be the Baldr S, which is the light right here. It is a compact weapon light. It's got some cool features. It's 800 lumen, just under 5,000 candela. One of the cool things on it is it has this little system here that ratchets back and forth, so that way you can align it, so that way you can easily hit the switches with your thumbs, and then you can just lock it down in place. It comes with a 1913 as well as a Glock insert rail, so whichever one you're using, it will work with. And then back here at the rear, you can select between laser only, light and laser, and light only. Additionally, they do make an option of this with a blue laser. Of course, this one has the green that you guys are about to see, but toggle that thing all the way over, and there is your laser. You can adjust your windage and elevation on the right side of the light itself. It is rechargeable via this piece right here, so you don't have to take it off your gun to recharge it. I know a lot of folks do like that. And then, of course, you have your light and laser combo. You can run it in high or low. It has momentary or constant on, depending on how you interface with the switch. Right now, I think they're like 90 bucks. So for a weapon light of that performance, definitely some value there. Next one I think a lot of you guys are going to like is this one. It's the Warrior Mini 3. It's a very compact light. Of course, it is rechargeable as well. It has a gas pedal style tail cap where basically you can press low and it will give you low, and you can press hard and it will give you high. It's just under 15,000 candela, so it definitely has some horsepower for a little light. Of course, it is, like we talked about, rechargeable. You can also actuate it through this system here on the side, this little push button system, and you can actually actuate all the different modes because it has several different modes. And of course, run through the different intensities and double click for high. Has that two-way clip that a lot of you guys like for EDC type use. Additionally, you can clip it onto a baseball cap if you want to work hands-free like that. That is an option for you guys. So there is that. Comes in several different colors this month as well. Then next up, I think some of you guys are going to dig, is the Perun or Perun 2 Mini. It's this guy right here. Compact little light with a wide flood. And what's cool is right now they're giving you one of these with it. So a headlamp system, very easy to install. Basically, you just do that, and then all of a sudden you have a headlamp. So it's the right type of beam output that most folks would want for a headlamp. It gives you wide area, so if you're working on things with your hands, you can do so. Additionally, if you're walking around in the woods or something like that, it's going to give you good situational awareness because it is a flood-focused light, as you guys can see there. And then additionally, it also has the ability to run red light. So if you just want red light, has that capability as well. And I know some of you out there will dig it. It is magnetic tail cap charging, and of course it comes with the charger that just clips onto there just like that. Additionally, you can just magnetically stick it onto whatever you want if you want to do that. Another light I think a lot of you guys out there will be interested in is this guy. This is the Swivel Pro Max. I've done several videos on the Swivel before, as well as the Swivel Pro. And as I've mentioned before several times, this is one of the lights I use the most on the channel. So basically every time I'm out at the range, I shoot until it gets dark, and then I use this light to clean up the range, police up the brass, pick all the guns up, put them in their bags, stuff like that. And I was previously using the smaller version of this, and one thing I really like it for, well, there's a couple. Number one, it's magnetic. So anything you stick it to, well, it'll stick right on there. Then you can adjust the angle of it in terms of how you present it. And then additionally, it has this swivel base plate here, so you can adjust the direction it's at based on what it's mounted to as well. This one is the first of the swivels that I know of anyway that also is a power bank. So it's a power bank in addition to being a light. So if you want to recharge your cell phone, you can. You have the capability right there to do so. And of course, it is a wall of light type of light. It's not designed to be a throw monster. It's designed for basically exactly what I just said, a work area, something like that, to illuminate it and do so for a long time, because this thing's got a lot of power. Another cool feature it has right there is it'll actually screw into a tripod mount if you guys want to use it as like a portable work light that you can just tripod mount and leave there. It will do that. Additionally, we have this guy here, which is the O lantern. This one here is USB rechargeable. The previous ones, I think, were AA powered, but it has that USB port in the top. It's got some cool things going on. Obviously, you can hang it if you want to. It also has the ability to clip into something. And of course, it has the same tripod capability that this one has. So if you wanted to put it on a tripod, you certainly could do so. It has the standard interface for that. And turning it on, basically you're going to have that more yellowish hue, the old school candle type of color. And then if you want to really get bright, you can turn it all the way up. And when you cross over the line, it's actually very interesting. It vibrates. So it tells you right when you're at that point where it's going to go from a more soft light into a more like you actually want to see stuff with it type of light and illuminate that way. So there is that, the O lantern. Then the free things, we'll talk about those here real quick. You have this guy here, which is the I2R Pro. This one here, I think, is the coolest, and this is USB rechargeable, so it's very convenient. It has that USB-C rather rechargeability, and then it has the two modes there. If you kind of turn it, you'll see here as I keep turning, low, and then high. And what's kind of crazy is for a light of this size, that high mode is actually pretty bright. It's a keychain, has the keychain attachment rather, I should say. And then we have this guy here, which is the E3 EOS, similar type of thing there, where you just turn it to go into high, but this is AAA battery activated. Next up, we have this guy here, which is the O Pen Mini. This one is metal, and of course it is capable of writing things, as you would imagine with a pen, but very strong, very durable. The inserts are easy to get. They're basically at all your staple stores if you want to. And then we have this guy, which I have no idea how to say. I think they say Gober, but we use this literally every day when we walk Mr. Colt. So we use one of them, and you can either use it as a two-piece system like this, obviously with our clip, and clip it onto something, or you can rotate it out like so. And at this point, it is USB-C rechargeable as well. And basically, to walk through the different lights, it'll has several different colors, I think red, blue, green, and then it also has white, and then it also has a flashing mode. And yeah, so because it's very hot here during the summer, a lot of times we walk the dog after it's actually dark out, so it is a good safety feature. And like I said, you can either use it like this, or it has a clip that you can mount it into as well that it comes with. And this one, unlike the previous versions, has of course two. So you have both sides that you can illuminate if you want to, and it just gives you more capabilities of mounting, if you will. There's a lot of uses for that, tons, but like I said, we clip it onto Mr. Colt. So with that, I suppose that is all the items we have out here. Let's wait for the sun to go down and then check out the beam pattern and the output of these lights. For those that are new here, the spot where the wood fence meets the iron fence is approximately 35 yards away. Those trees there in the background are 40 to 50 depending on the tree. And the light that you're looking at right now is the output from the Baldr S weapon light on low. I have my camera set to as close as possible to what I see here with my human eye as I can. Obviously the camera always adds a little bit of distortion, but we'll bump it up on high. There you go. That is the output from that little weapon light on high. We do not have the laser on right now. We'll do that here in just a second. You guys can get a pretty good idea of the spill and just the overall candela of it. We'll switch it over to have the light and laser on, as you can see there. Hopefully the camera's picking up that laser there in the trees. In real life, with the human eye, that laser is super, super bright, but for whatever reason, the camera tends to wash it out, and then you can switch over to laser only as well. Here we have the output from the Warrior Mini 3 on low, and we'll just work through the different settings there, as you guys can see. And then you can either double click the side like that and get it onto turbo, or you can work, of course, the gas pedal tail cap. But you guys can see for a little light, that thing has a ton of horsepower candela and a pretty good spill as well. Now working it from the tail cap, if we have a slight press, that is the output that you get. And then again, back to turbo with that full press. And here we have the output from the Swivel Pro Max. I'll put it out in front so you guys can see that is in fact what is powering this whole area here. You basically get 180 degrees. I would say, if I had to guess just looking at it here, I would say it's about 170 degrees of actual output. So it truly is a wall of light. And if you bump it up, that is the high setting or the turbo setting of it there. You can see, I mean, that literally, I mean, that's a wall of light. I mean, it's quite impressive. And then if we just hold it, we'll change over into the red coloration there that you guys see. And that's pretty much it. The camera right now is pretty close to where the fence is, and you guys can see here with the lantern, basically this would be off. And then if we just turn it on, that's the kind of light that you get there. And then once we get to where it turns over into that higher colored palette, it shakes. So right there, it's telling you it just came on. Back to that more orange, and the white comes on, the orange fades away as we go through, and that is the output that you see there from the lamp. But of course, if you wanted to use this as a light to search, you can for sure. It's definitely plenty bright in that regard. Again, for the new folks here, I'm about 10 yards back on my piece of property. Across the lake here is about 110 yards. And then after that, about 10 yards on the neighbor's piece of property, there is a little fishing shack, and we will illuminate it with that Warrior Mini 3 using just the tail cap. And there is the low mode. You guys can see it a little bit. If we zoom in, like you could tell if somebody was out there standing in front of the shack, but I wouldn't be able to detect what was in their hands per se. But if we go ahead and crank that thing on high, then yeah, you definitely could. You'd be able to get a lot more detail as to what was going on out there 130 yards away, as you guys can see. Now, one thing to point out, of course, is that it's not just a candela monster. It's not just the throw monster. Even if we're off to the side, this rosemary bush to my right is still being illuminated. Again, no illumination. And then you turn it on and has a pretty good balance of flood and spill. Next up, we'll take a look at the Baldr S, the compact weapon light, and we'll go ahead and turn it on. That is what it looks like. Again, that's 130 yards away, so that's no joke. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up the laser or not, but with my human eye, the laser is extremely bright, very, very easy to see out there. Oh yeah, now you zoom in, the camera's definitely picking it up. But yeah, that is what you would get in terms of situational awareness. Again, this light is probably not really designed to be used at that distance, but it certainly is capable of giving you some information that you otherwise wouldn't have. Again, that is with it off and then on. As a complete contrast, this is the Swivel Pro output. So you can really see virtually, I don't want to say no throw because there is some, but certainly not a ton, but a complete wall of light, as you guys can see there. Well, at this point, you guys have seen the output of the popular lights that we have for this sale. Again, there will be a link down below in the video description if you guys are looking to check any of these out. And again, if you're looking for any of the other sale items, rather, that we didn't talk about today, the reason we didn't talk about them is we've already talked about them in previous month's email and wanted to keep the video relatively short and consumable. So with that, we'll let you guys go. Thanks as always. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.